Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Tahir and you're watching SDTV. As new partnerships, because of the global shift, is taking place, some old partnerships are also growing and maturing up for further cooperation into the next century or for posterity. Japan is one of the countries which is keen on developing partnerships and reinvigorating partnerships which are already there. For this purpose, for basic exploring the ground and research purpose, recently they invited executive director of the SDPI, because it's a think tank and can have mutually agreed areas where cooperation can be fostered. So invited and make a sort of arrangement where new areas have been identified and the new cooperation can be indicated. So we have today with us Dr. Abid Suleri. Dr. Abid, you just visited Japan. Tell us something about it and we'll further take it on questions and answers.
Thank you, Tahar. It was a wonderful opportunity to visit Japan. Every time I go there, I get impressed by the sustainable development principles and procedures that the country is following and adopted, and the care and precaution that they are taking, especially to contain any new wave of COVID. So even when I went there in December, although it's not mandatory, but everyone was so disciplined in wearing masks and maintaining social distance, etc. It was wonderful. But the main purpose of my visit was to explore some mutual interests, some partnerships with the like-minded institutes on sustainable development. During my week-long visit, I was able to visit Japan Institute of International Affairs. I was able to visit JICA. I was able to visit the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Japan, their South Asia department. I also visited their water conservation agencies, and I also I took the opportunity to visit ADB Institute, which is an ADB think tank based in Tokyo.
But what is the bottom line? What are the concrete things you think you have taken home and which can be assimilated here for mutual cooperation?
Well, one can learn a lot from Japan on water conservation. Japan is actually working hugely on water conservation. Japan has expertise to convert the solid waste into electricity and energy. Again, a huge opportunity for a country like Pakistan, where we are looking for sustainable ways of disposing solid waste and generating cheap energy and electricity. Japan being the first introducer of car assembling in Pakistan, again can bring its hybrid and EVs, electric vehicles in Pakistan, its assembly. Fourth, Japan and Pakistan, they can cooperate on climate change initiative, on banning plastic and on ocean protection. And fifth and most important, and I was extremely impressed when I visited Tokyo University of International Studies, the number of students who were enrolled there for Urdu. Yeah. So undergrad and postgrad students. So Japan is actually taking keen interest in external world, learning languages, and then enhancing their expertise about unknown lands among children. That was quite impressive.
Japan has recently announced that visa scheme because their population is growing old. So they are looking for youth. And I was just told by the former ambassador, Shafkat Kakakhail, that 48,000 visas will be given to Pakistan. And the condition would be that they can speak Japanese language, the student, and they have certain basic tests which they can qualify so they can easily assimilate in their in their country. Do you think this cooperation can lead to a place where Pakistan can actively involve in Japan, and it's a two-way thing? They come here and invest and bring technology, and our youth can go there and become expat and can assimilate there?
Of course, Pakistan diaspora, wherever it is, the expats, they are not only a major contributor of remittances, but they are also contributing a lot in the host countries. And both skilled and unskilled workers around the world, starting from Middle East till North America and Australia, they have been doing wonders. The Pakistani expats, there are already many in Japan, and if due to such visa scheme, educated and skilled people, after learning language, they go there, they can be part of knowledge economy.
Yes.
Graduating from manual service provision and entering into knowledge economy, that is something which is a game changer.
So what do you think? What are the tangibles? This is sort of a research and exploratory visit that you just gained, and they assisted very keenly. So it means on both sides there is an interest. What have you brought back? What are the tangible you think? What can be the tangible you think?
I think we also need to acknowledge here that in the climate resilient conference in Geneva, Japan has just pledged $77 million towards flood rehabilitation and flood reconstruction. Now, Japan is a nation which is extremely resilient, starting from resilient to disasters.
And very prone to disasters.
But very resilient to disasters, starting from Hiroshima till today.
Yeah.
And
earthquakes,
and
tsunamis.
Disaster of the nuclear reactor
tsunami
disaster and everything. So there's a lot that Pakistan can learn from Japan in terms of disaster preparedness and disaster mitigation, in terms of climate change, in terms of adopting climate-friendly technologies, in terms of, as I said, creating and producing electricity from waste. So all these things, they would help, and there is an appetite for mutual collaboration and mutual cooperation in Japan.
Obviously, it was an exploratory visit, but there would be certain things which you would be bringing from here to the Japan. What are those things? Are there any nuggets in that you unveiled there and give it to them?
Well, first and foremost, from SDPI, I offered summer internships to Japanese students, the research students,
Right.
and especially the students of Tokyo University of International Affairs, that if they want to come and spend their summers in Pakistan, interning, doing some research or honing their language skills, they are welcome to come to Pakistan. Second, my main message was that Pakistan, unfortunately, in the Western world, not in Japan, but in the Western world, has been seen either through a lens of Soviet Union, or a lens of Afghanistan, or lens of war and terrorism, or lens of China, and now Indo-Pacific policy. So to whoever I met in Japan, my major message was that Japan should try to have its own Pakistan policy. Pakistan should not be considered part of South Asia policy or part of Indo-Pacific policy. So, and I was glad to listen that Japan is already realizing it, and especially when I visited the NHK, the Japanese broadcasting service, the multilingual broadcasting service. So there was this separate Urdu section producing documentaries and news in Urdu. So Japan is realizing the importance of Pakistan and the friendship of Pakistan on its own merit, not because of geostrategic location of Pakistan, or not because of Pakistan being next door to Afghanistan, or next door to China, or next door to Iran, or next door to India. And I think this sort of independent bilateral relations, they are required for countries to explore the mutual basis of sustainable development in the world.
Yeah, and it has, it has a chance to blossom further. So that's a that's a good news that Japan is willing to look towards Pakistan from this angle. And I think if we gauge this from the yardstick of the past, I think it has a great future and we should keep our fingers crossed. That's all up till now.